Hey everybody, welcome into Farm Cooking with Nan. Tonight this afternoon, we are just fixing supper, okay? That's what I'm doing, fixing supper. I have gotten some potatoes, washed them, made one little slice down through the center, and cut little slices this way, you see? See? And I'm going to put them, I've got two more to do. I'm going to put them in my iron skillet here. Let me scoot that up here. And then I'm going to cut these last two little ones. You don't want to cut them all the way through. Then just make little slices, because you want your seasoning and stuff to get down in there. So I'm going to do one more. Let me cut that little bad place out of the end. I cut it out of all the others. Cut out any bad place that you've got. Well, that one just keeps having some little specks. Now, you might cut all the way through a few times, but I try my best not to. I'm just going to put them in a pan, throw these little extras in there. Not going to waste anything. This will go on my scraps. And then I'm going to season these babies up, okay? First of all, I've got one stick of butter. I'm going to pour that over my potatoes. Just sort of pull them apart and let that butter get down in there. I went back and forth today what kind of potatoes I wanted to fix for supper. Hang on a minute, I've moved everything today because I have been cleaning my stove. You know, self-cleaning. So it's been heated up for about 4.5 hours. And so I'm just getting time for me to start fixing my supper. Now I'm going to season up some of these a little bit, okay? I'm going to put just a tad of pepper. This is one of those things where you just need to write down hear my oven getting ready. Just I put about a half a teaspoon of pepper, maybe a little bit more. And then I'm going to put some garlic and powder and some onion powder. I love good garlic and onion powder. You know, probably I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potatoes in there. They're not big, and believe me, we're still in this. This is garlic now. We're still in this season of being iced in. Jackson is out there, and he is riding his sled, and I see him, he keeps getting faster and faster. He scares me to death. My brother had an accident one time. My two brothers were riding sleds, and they had an accident and hit a cliff. My brother hit a cliff, and it cut his lip all the way in two. My other brother hit his head. It was a mess. They were at the hospital. It's just something else. Even when I was little, when you went to the hospital, that was a big thing. So now I'm going to put some Southern Boys seasoning. It's the first time I've tried this, but I had ordered it way back, just wanting to try it, and I'm going to put quite a little bit of that. It sort of smells like seasoning salt, so if you're planning on you know, and you say, I don't have that seasoning, use seasoning salt. I'm going to put just a few dabs down here in the butter because I didn't use any salt, remember? So I just put some Worcestershire sauce or Wishy Sister or whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm going to grab some aluminum foil, and I'm going to cover this up. My oven me make sure I got everything in there. Whew, stick of butter. I've got my pepper. I've got my Southern Boys seasoning. I got my Worcestershire. Got my pan. Yep, ready to go. I have to write it down, youngest, because I get to doing something and I forget. I'm gonna cover this iron skillet up. You don't have an iron skillet, you could probably do it in a regular dish, but I just like, there's an even heat when you cook with iron skillets and iron. So I'm gonna put this in. My oven has already beeped, and I'll let you know how long I'll leave it in there. Next, we're gonna cook at the stove a little bit, okay? But first, I'm gonna get something ready. Let me grab something out of the refrigerator. Kept it in here, kept it. Hang on a minute. I have washed my meat, and just a tad bit of the blood has drained a little bit, okay? So, I just rinsed that off real quick. It was in my dish. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. This is a London broil. I told my husband to bring me up some steak, and that's exactly what he brought me, was up some steak. Unless it's big old pieces of fat, I leave that little bit of fat on there, and I'm going to cut this in bite-sized pieces, okay? Where's my better knife? This is a good knife, but I know y'all don't want me to watch me cut this up, so I'm going to cut it up, and like I said, it will be bite-sized pieces. You can use whatever kind of steak that you have. You can use any kind of steak you've got. But I'm going to cut this up, and we'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, we've got our steak cut up. And what I was going to tell you is I saved about half of that steak because it would have been just too much for us tonight. Now I'm going to put my steak in there. Then I'm going to sprinkle some flour. Oh, Lord. Things ain't working too good today. My feet, my back, my hip. We're just going to coat that a little bit, okay? Sprinkle just a little bit more. Now, let's get ready and get this going in a skillet, okay? Okay, we're over here. We're going to turn that down a little bit. We're going to melt our stick of butter in our skillet, in my iron skillet here. And that melts and gets good and hot. Then we're going to toss in our meat mixture here. Okay, let's get our meat in there. I'm gonna pull it apart. So I don't want it sticking together, those little pieces. This is a plenty for us for supper, even probably a bite or two left over. I like to use my meat for as much as let me wash my hands real quick. Let's put some seasoning on this, okay? First of all, I'm going to sprinkle in a few onion you know, minced onion, because just to tell the truth, I felt too tired to chop one up, but you can chop one up if you want to. Put some good onion in there. I'm gonna put a little garlic powder over all my meat. I'm making a mess, you see. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of onion powder. Even though I've got some onions in there, I'm gonna put a little onion powder. I'm gonna put a little bit of that Southern Boys seasoning. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of homegrown vegetable broth in there because this is gonna be my gravy. Turn it up a little bit, and I'm gonna put a little pepper. We're gonna cook that and be back, and I'll clean this mess up. I'm gonna put a little bit of Dale's seasoning, just a dash, maybe half teaspoon. Put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in here. I'm gonna put about 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm going to remove my meat. What's left down here, we're going to make a gravy out of. Turn it down just a little bit. And what is it I'm going to put in? Put a little, just a tad bit of flour. And I'm not going to waste the flour that what the meat was rolled in. I'm just going to put just a little, go ahead and get the rest of that out of my dish. Okay. Get all the, what a mess I've made again. Now, get me everything up off the bottom. Scoop that off the eye a minute. And then I'm going to put my meat back in, okay? I've moved everything off my stove so I don't have my spatulas, and I'm going to try to get every bit I can out of there. I'm going to put just a tad bit more of the stock in there. just a little bit more. Because just that little bit of just that little bit of flour there will help thicken that up and make a good gravy. Now, if you want to add onions, fresh onions into yours, you can. I'm going to cover this up with something and get it in the oven. Okay, I've got my lid on here. I'm going to get this and get it on there, and I'm going to get this into the oven on 400 for about, no, 350. I'm putting on about 350 for about 30 minutes. Let me get my pan out of the oven. Take the lid off. Okay, pretty hot, pretty hot. Just got my potatoes out here. I hope you can see them. I've got my potatoes out here. I'm just gonna put one of these up there. These are small potatoes, so we're gonna just put 2 on there. And then we're gonna get some of our steak, and I'm going to put it right on there. And gravy. I've got some, let's set this over here. I've got some cornbread salad. Let me straighten up the camera. I've got some cornbread salad. So this is really, really hot. Let me show y'all. That's what I'm going to serve with it is some cornbread salad. Let me get some. Okay, I got just a little bit of cornbread salad on there. Do you like it? Ooh, this tater and gravy. Look how tender those potatoes are. Mmm. Tender, delicious. Y'all got to try some of this. It's delicious. It's great. So listen, I just want to tell y'all that I love you. Tell you how much the Lord loves you. I hope y'all get a chance to make you some of the steak and potatoes. Sometimes I do it with I just do it a different way. Sometime or another I'll cook it for you. But I just want to tell you how much I love you. How much I hope that you've stayed warm and toasty. They're telling us we're going to get warm weather this week. We're waiting. I'm praying for a heat wave. I don't want it to flood with all this snow melting, but I do pray that the temperatures will heat up. Our road is just ice. And so, but I'm going to let y'all go, and I would just want you to know how much I love being with y'all and how much that I appreciate everything that you do for me, everything. I just love you, and I want you to know that, and I want you to know how much God loves you. You know, there's just never a time when God is not with every breath we take. Remember that. Remember, every breath we take comes from the Lord. Don't take that for granted. Tell somebody about the Lord. Warn somebody to get ready. We're about to go home before long, and I hope y'all will do that. Well, I will see you next time. Lord willing, I'll make my husband a plate and set him down to eat. I love yous. Bye-bye.